here with Half Dozen Customs. We're back out here on this Jeep floor today. We got both sides sanded and prepped and cleaned up, ready to go. So, told you guys before, I picked up a bunch of cans of some 2-in-1. We're gonna get this sprayed. So let's get to it. Got my little shaker. I've already been shaking it, so it should be good. I was just tacking that off because my buddy that owns the Jeep came by here. I had it all tacked off, ready to paint. I was just getting ready to paint when he stopped by, and he came over and he was hanging on it. So I had to re-wipe this side down, and I forgot to tack right. So, remember, this is just the 2-in-1 on there, and this is the bottom side. This is what you'll see when you look up underneath the truck, and it's going to get undercoated once it's all put together in the truck. So I don't trust just undercoating it. That's why we're doing this. So now it has the protection of the paint underneath the undercoating. So, you know, once we get it all in the truck, I'll go in there with the scuff pad. We'll scuff everything up. We'll seam seal whatever I feel needs to be seam sealed, if anything, and then we'll undercoat it. So, we'll see you guys back here after this is done. I'm going to put 2 more coats on it, and then we're going to call it done. And then we're going to jump over onto the bed and start getting that part ready to do the same thing. So we'll be back. Okay, so we got 3 coats on. So if you're curious how much it took to paint, basically, I know I cut a little off of this, but basically it's a 4x8 sheet of metal, 3 coats. It took me 3 cans to do it, but really, all in all, it was probably about 1.5 cans. Because I'm holding the can sideways, spraying. Once we got down to about 1/4 of a can, it started spitting. So then I just switched and grabbed another can. So it was 2 cans. We got down to about 1/4 can in each. And then I ran short like this much in the second can, so I had to grab a 3rd can just to basically finish just this edge right here with the 3rd coat. But basically, you know, I would say get 3 cans, but you're probably only going to use 1.5 cans of it to get 3 coats on here. I don't know how it looks in the video. A little orange peely, but like I said, it's getting bed lined. It doesn't really matter. I wasn't trying to make it flat and shiny. If that was the case, I wouldn't be rattle canning it. So, but now we're gonna let this sit and dry for the next couple days at the very least, but before I try and flip it. Basically, what we're gonna do is we're gonna prep the inside of the bed, and get that all cleaned up and taken care of, and get that painted black. And then while that's drying, we'll flip this over. And we're going to do the other side blue, the actual color of the truck. And then while that's drying, we'll go back and we'll paint the inside of the bed blue. And then once we get that done, you know, we'll let that dry a day or so, and we'll get the floor actually installed in the truck. So hopefully by today's Tuesday, you know, hopefully by the end of the weekend, the floor is in, it's done, it's seam sealed, you know, it's ready to it's ready to go. So okay, we're gonna start getting this prepped. I'm gonna run over everything that I can with just some 80 grit on a DA. Try and clean up some of it. I know I've already ran over it once before, but we've had some rust occur since then. So clean up what we can, and then we'll probably wire wheel a bunch of stuff, and then I'm gonna spray it down with that metal prep, and we'll go from there. Okay, so I finished going over everything with wire wheel. It's really weird. One side of one bar underneath there had undercoating on it, which I remember the aluminum, when we pulled up the aluminum, there was part of the aluminum floor had undercoating on it. So I scraped all that off of there so that we have a fresh start. I got my little round wire brush guy, so that I could get up into the corners of everything. So we did that. I shut you guys off there because Colleen came out here, and I talked to Colleen for a while, and then I just figured I'd finish this up. So we finished sanding everything up. Got it blown off, and now I have this metal prep in here. And I actually read on the bottle, and it says to spray it on there heavily and let it sit for 24 hours. And it says two coats may be needed for heavier rust. And then it says to wipe it down and paint it within 48 hours. So that's what we're gonna do. Okay, I think we've soaked it down pretty good. Okay, we've hosed it down. Now I'm gonna go in and I'm gonna shower and eat lunch and all that stuff. But later on this evening, before the end of the night, I'm gonna spray it down again, and then we'll do 24 hours from that time. So, but hope you guys enjoyed the video. I think we got a lot done here. We'll see you guys back out here a little later. I'm out. Alright, we're back out here. It's later on in the evening. I've been out here working for a while. Didn't film any of it. It was nothing too exciting. So on this piece, this is what we just put that brace in here, and we had 6 spot welds going across here. So I feathered them out with a DA with some 80 grit, and then I hand blocked that whole top section with 180, ran over the piece with some red scuff pad, and reprimed it. No body work, no nothing. It's getting bed lined. It'll be fine. And then this is what all this looks like after we soaked it earlier before lunch. So you can see like all that rust has turned black. So what I'm going to do right now, I'm not going to film it because you guys already seen me do it once, but I'm going to spray it down one more time. I'm going to move that out of the way, and spray that down one more time, and then it's about 8:30, so 8:30 tomorrow we'll be able to, it says to just wipe everything down with a wet rag, so that's what I'm gonna do, and then it'll be ready for paint, which will probably, tomorrow's Wednesday. So what we're going to do tomorrow, we're probably not going to do a whole lot over here. Probably going to scuff this up, just hit it with a red scuff pad. I think it's easier to scuff it here than it is once it's in the truck. So we'll scuff it up with the red scuff pad, and then we may paint the inside of that, what you see right now. I'll run over that with a scuff pad and you know, maybe a little 320 at our little blend line there that we just primed, because I didn't prime the whole thing, I just primed the top section. So maybe we'll just run over it a little bit with some 320, maybe the whole thing. We'll just 320 a little bit of the whole thing, and then blow a coat of color on that. I do need to take the tailgate off over there, so that way we can get everything prepped and painted for the inside of the bed, and the tailgate's kind of just in our way. Instead of masking it off, just, you know, pull a couple bolts and we'll pull it out. And then I don't know if I can get Colleen to help me pull that off in the morning, then maybe I was thinking maybe spray the inside of that too, but I actually think that I'm just gonna hang that. When we paint the bed, I'm gonna hang that tailgate, and we'll probably just paint that whole tailgate. I still need to take it off, but I think we'll paint that when we paint the outside of the bed, just so everything matches. So yeah, so that, scratch that. I was thinking that we would paint the inside of that tailgate as well, but I don't think we're gonna do that. But yeah, so I think tomorrow's going to be kind of a light day on this, waiting for that stuff to do what it does, and Thursday we'll get this cleaned up, we'll mask off whatever we need to mask off, and we'll go ahead and we'll get the inside of this painted. I don't think as of right now, I don't think that I'm going to PR-15 any of it, because reading on this bottle, you know, it says to put this stuff on, let it sit 24 hours, wipe it down with a wet washcloth, and paint it within 48 hours. So I'm pretty sure that we can just paint over this stuff. What this stuff does is it kills the rust, it neutralizes it, and stops it from growing anymore. which is kind of the same thing that the POR15 does. And I explained this before in another video that I swear that this stuff that we sprayed on here came with the POR15 kit, you know, 15 or 20 years ago, and you would put that stuff on first before you POR15. But according to reading the bottle, you can just paint right over it. So I think that that's just what we're gonna do. We're just gonna neutralize it all and just paint over it. I don't think that we need to POR15 anything. So, I mean, I guess we could, it wouldn't hurt. But I know the POR15 needs the rust to bite, and if we just killed all the rust, what's the point of putting it on? So it's gonna get painted anyway, so I think we'll be good. So yeah, we'll see you guys tomorrow. So it looks, you know, it looks pretty good. You can see like everywhere that there was rust, it turned black, which is what it's supposed to do when it's fully soaked into that rust and has neutralized it. So you know, we'll be back out here this evening. I did this morning. I took like, I don't know, 10 minutes, and I scuffed this up real good with just a red scuffy. And then I scuffed and sanded this down with 320. So this is now ready for some paint. But we're gonna get this wiped down, and we're gonna get this 2 coats of blue, 1 coat of clear, and call this done. Okay, let me get some paint mixed up, and we'll get some paint on here. All right, here we go. Just gotta turn on the exhaust and get to it. Okay, well, I'm gonna put 1 more coat on that, and then we'll get some clear on it, and probably see you guys tomorrow morning when this is done. Back out here on the Jeep today. Last night around 9 o'clock was the 24-hour mark for having this rust neutralizer on here. So now we gotta wash it off, and we have 48 hours to paint it. So that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna wash it off, blow it out, dry it, whatever we gotta do to try and, you know, not just leave it soaking wet. And then we'll let it dry, probably till later on this evening, where then we will start to sand, scuff, prep, whatever we need to do to get this painted. So let's get to washing. I just got some soapy water here. It's just Dawn dish soap and some faucet water. Try not to knock this thing off. Okay, well, we got that all washed up. You guys are still on, right? Yep. Oh, and you guys got nice full batteries still. That's awesome. We got new batteries finally. So by now my battery I would have been probably halfway through my second battery. We're still on one battery. And it's not even, I mean, it's barely missing a green spot. So got this washed down, blown off. Now we're just gonna let it sit and dry. It's got to dry well before we paint it. Probably won't paint it till tomorrow. I have decided that we are just gonna go through and all the like real bad rusted areas like this. I mean, it's not real bad, but they're larger areas. You know, around a couple of these brackets here. We are gonna go in and PR 15. You know, like I may PR 15 some of that one because it's a little on the rougher side. Not gonna go crazy with it. Just gonna just hit what I feel needs to be hit, and then we'll let that dry overnight. We'll come out tomorrow. We'll sand down all the blue areas. Trying to stay away from the PR 15 so that we don't break the seal on it. And then, you know, we'll move on from there. We still got to sand the sides, which I'm just going to throw some 180 on a DA, and we're just going to DA it out. You know, that's getting bedline, so I don't really care what it looks like, and 180 is what they say to sand it down with before you bedline. Now we are putting some blue down, but it just gives us extra adhesion. So still got to take tailgate off. Not going to do that tonight. We'll do that tomorrow. So I got, as you can see, I'm waving a brush around, and I got the PR 15 over there. I'm just going to use the flat. Stop wiggling. I'm just going to use the flat PR 15. I have both gloss and black. We're just going to use the flat black, so just because I got it. I got it, and it's what I grabbed. And not only that, but the last time I broke the lid off of this, I just taped over it, so it was the easiest one to open. So I did look up some stuff on this stuff to see like what you know, what people were doing. Were they going through and sanding it down afterwards? And everything that I found, no, they are not. But I also found a PR 15 video where they used all the similar chemicals, and very similar. It's not this stuff. I had said in another video that it had been 20 years. I couldn't remember, but I wanted to say that it was the same stuff. And it was not the same stuff, but it was, it is very close. It is a metal prep and rust neutralizer, or rust inhibitor, whatever you want to call it. So very similar stuff. Okay, I think that's all we're gonna do. You know, I'm not gonna do the tops of the rails. That's just gonna get painted. You know, we're gluing that. We're gluing the metal down across these cross braces right here. And I think I'd rather just glue to paint than glue to POR 15. So, you know, we're using the window weld, which that just goes on paint. I know that there's a black primer that they normally put around the windshield before they put that stuff down. I don't have that. I've never even used it before. But that normally just goes down over paint. So that's all we're gonna do with that. We will let this dry till tomorrow. And then, like I said, tomorrow we'll come in, we'll sand down some of this stuff, and then we'll get it masked off for paint. And hopefully we can get this painted tomorrow. We are back out here on the Jeep this morning, and we are working on the inside of this bed. I'm gonna run over everything that I can with the DA with some 180 on it. We're sanding the inside of the bed, and then we're sanding all this floor section. And once we get everything sanded, then we'll tape off our primered section. We still got to pull our tailgate, and then we're gonna paint this lower section. But we need to run over everything with 180. 180 is normally too rough to be sanding primer for paint, but the inside of this is getting bed liner, so I don't care if you see the sand scratches in the base coat, because you'll never see it once the bed liner's on. So 180 everything, red scuff pad, we'll mask off the primer, and we'll get this painted in here. So let's get to it. Okay, so we've gotten the sides and basically the whole base, sides and base, and 180. And then I put these top rails because this up here is actually going to be base coat. The bed liner is only coming up to this line. So this will be paint, this will be bed liner. So I put this in 320. Now I just DA'd it for now. When we paint the inside of this bed, I'm gonna paint up to this top rail, and then when it comes time to actually paint the truck, we will come back and we will long block this base coat and clear coat back out and straighten anything up that the DA didn't get. So now it looks, I sanded it real nice. We did break through in a couple of spots. I sanded it real nice, but a DA is not a finishing tool. You never wanna, if you sand down a car with a DA and then you prime it and you DA it down again, you're not gonna have a straight panel. Because a DA does not straighten. You need something long, flat, and hard to straighten. A little round disc that is vibrating around in a circle is not going to straighten nothing. It may level everything out and flatten out your primer, but if there's any whoop-de-doos or dents or anything like that, it's not going to straighten that. It's just going to contour to it, sand it in. and you're still going to see it in your finished product. So like I said, we will come back later and we will reblock this top section. Right now I got some 320, and we're gonna hit these edges, and I'm gonna hit the top of the bar on both sides, and then after that we are ready for a red scuff pad, and I'm gonna go through and we are gonna scuff everything, all the edges, nooks and crannies, everything that we couldn't get to with the sander. Now this lower frame section, this is like the third time that it's been sanded. I can't remember if I went through it with the scuff pad before or not, but we're gonna do it now. But this should all be sanded quite well because we have sanded it several times. So, but let's go ahead and I'm just gonna do these by hand, and like I said, we're just gonna hit the corners and hit the edges. Alright, well, you see how I'm doing it. I'm gonna get this side done as well. And I don't know if Colin will put it in the video, but she stuck her head in the door and I asked her to come help me take the tailgate off, and she said after her next meeting. So hopefully she'll be out here within the next hour, and we can get that tailgate off. So I'm gonna keep working on getting basically these top rails in 320 and the edges in 320. Okay, so we are on to scuffing. I have 180'd the whole inside. We have 320'd this whole top rail. We have sanded all the inside framing with 180. We have removed the tailgate. I also got the metal floor flipped over. So we got the bare metal side here now, which not today, but I wanted to just flip it over while Colleen was out here just in case. It might be today. If we get this all scuffed up and we go in here and we paint this before lunch, we still have plenty of time. It's not even 1 o'clock yet. Not saying that we're going to, but if we do, you know, I could get all this scuffed and just be like, dude, I'm hungry, you know. But if we get this painted, whether we get it painted now or we get it painted when we come back out here this evening, there's probably going to be some time left over that we can't touch this because the paint is drying. So we cleaned that metal up last week and got it ready to go. But some of that chemical that we sprayed on there, you know, wrapped up underneath, it soaked into the wood. So we need to run over this metal again, just with the DA, and get that cleaned up and ready to go. And that needs to be, we're gonna seal it and do just a couple coats of blue and a coat of clear on it. And my plan is we got to, you know, we have to do that to the inside of the bed as well. And my plan was to do that both at the same time. So well, not if, but you know, we're gonna get this frame section down here painted today at some point in time. Then tomorrow we can come out here, we can unmask the sides, and they're already sanded, scuffed, prepped, ready to go. So then we tape off the bars on the floor, and we can go through and we can paint these sides and paint that floor. So that's the plan. Yeah. So I'm gonna run over everything with the scuff pad. I know we just ran over it with sandpaper, but the inside of the bed, like I body worked it all out, and we sanded it, I would say 75%. I did not take it any farther than that because we knew we were going to be bedlining it. So there is, you know, some sand scratches, you know, some pits, maybe some stuff that didn't get fully taken out, that when I sanded it with the DA, you know, it didn't touch any of that stuff. So that's where the scuff pad comes in, just to make sure all those spots get some kind of scuffing. So okay, so we ran around everything with the scuff pad, got everything wiped down. Let's grab some paper, throw some paper up the sides here, and then some adhesion promoter. Yeah, baby. Okay, that takes, I usually give it about 10 minutes to set up. So I'm gonna take a break for 10 minutes and sit here and just shake some paint. So we'll be back. Okay, so I have a couple of cans that are left over from doing the floor piece, that because we were spraying like this on the floor, once we got down to like this much paint in the can, it was spitting and sputtering. So I still have, these are new cans that I just started like a week ago. So just gonna get these finished up, and basically what I'm gonna start with is, we will start with the sides, and we're gonna get the sides done all the way down. And then we'll start on the middle brace, and we'll work ourselves out to the outside edges. That way I'm not standing in between wet paint or trying to crawl in and around wet paint. Now this is getting all undercoated, so I don't really care how it looks. We just need to get a fresh coat of paint on it for the undercoating to go onto. You know, we'll get a fresh coat of paint on it, and then before we undercoat it, We'll hit it with the red scuff pad and give it a good blast of undercoating. Little edges of metal, they stick out beyond the floor, so those actually need to go blue. So instead of having to try and get this black off of there, tape it off. Alright, so that's it. I got 2 coats on it. I think that's good enough. It's getting undercoated. We just needed a nice good base to start with, and I think that's it. Yeah, I think it looks good. A couple of runs here or there, but it's getting undercoated. You won't ever see them. So wasn't really too worried about runs, just good coverage. So, all right. So we're gonna let this dry at least till tomorrow. So later on when we come out, we'll work on getting this metal prepped and ready. And who knows, maybe even we'll get it sealed and painted tonight. Because I was not expecting to get this painted today, so yeah. And you know what? I don't even know if those the run that I see across there, I don't even know if that's from me. There's runs, I was looking underneath here when I was painting. There's runs that are going up. So whoever painted this thing before had this thing flipped upside down when they did the bottom of it, and all the runs are going the opposite way. So, and looking across at these runs here that I see across the back, it looks to me like they're going up. So, but anyways, see you guys later. Time for lunch. I'm out. Okay, we are back out here this evening. This has been drying for, I don't know, about 6 hours or so, maybe a little less, 5.5 hours. Looks good. Like I said, couple of runs. I do think along that very back bar on both sides, and I think it's just because I was trying to squeeze my body along with me painting in between those rails, but like I said, no big deal. It's getting undercoated, won't ever see it. I did just finish, I just went through and I sanded this all down with 80 grit again. Reason being is because when we cleaned this side first, got it all sanded down, and then we flipped it over and we cleaned the other side and got that all sanded down, and that chemical just seeped underneath between the metal and the wood, and it kind of just left a ring of white from that chemical going around all the edges. So I just finished sanding that down with some 80 grit, which is what the rest of the metal is in. So I think it's ready to be wiped down with some pre-cleaner, and then seal it and paint it. But at this point, it's 8:30 at night. I've been trying to work on the far back project the last like hour of my evening, which is usually from 9 to 10. So I figure we'll just let this dry. Like, even if we were to paint this tonight, like, I would have to put plastic over that so we don't get blue overspray all over it. It's not the best thing to put plastic over fresh paint. If you didn't know, now you know. So I figure it's probably just best to let this dry overnight, and then hopefully tomorrow it's dry enough that we can kind of mask this off, and we'll paint the bed sides and this at the same time. That was my original plan anyways, so might as well just stick to the original plan. So, and basically what I'm thinking is that we'll probably just take this paper off. Like, I'll probably just pull this side off and we'll just slide it over here and stick it down. We'll just use the same paper, hopefully, maybe. And then vice versa, we'll take this one off, we'll slide it over here, we'll stick it down. And then I'll take some of my little 4-inch paper down here, and we'll just paper off the center bars, because I need to be able to stand in here while we paint. It's the whole reason that we're painting the inside of this first, before we put the floor in, because once this floor is in, like, it's gonna be hard to paint it. You know, I can only reach, you know, so far, you know, to paint. You know, I don't know how long this bed is, but it's pretty darn long. So it's almost 8 foot. So, but anyways, I think we got a lot done today. It looks good. I'm happy with it. We will be back out here tomorrow. And like I said, hopefully, you know, having, you know, 20 hours to dry, hopefully that black is good enough to tape on. You know, even if it was base coat, clear coat that we put on there, like, I still kind of question taping off that fresh of paint. Fly. I still question taping off that fresh of paint, and rattle can takes longer to dry than, you know, like a base coat clear coat does, because base coat clear coat is actually a forced cure, where, you know, just rattle can, this just air dry. So you know, we'll do a test on it. I'll come out, I'll pick a spot that you won't see once the floor goes in, and we'll stick some tape in there and see, you know, if it's leaving marks or if it's wanting to pull up or anything like that. So, you know, it's very, very well possible that we may have to let this sit a couple days before we start messing with any of it. Like I said, not that I'm trying to rush this, but I would really like to, you know, this bed, like, I could spend probably 3 days on this bed, 3-4 days maybe, and have it painted, and then we could wet sand and buff it and be done with it. We could be bringing the truck back over here, to paint that. But this floor is holding me up. I need to get this floor done. So, you know, it's probably something that we should have did last year. But, you know, it is what it is. We weren't ready for paint last year. This year we are painting stuff and getting stuff done. So, but yeah, anyways, is what it is. We'll get through it. If it takes a couple extra days, it takes a couple extra days. Anyways, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Remember to like, subscribe, share, leave a comment. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Come back for more. I'll see you guys in the next one. I'm out.